Barak Yahweh Alam. Shalom, righteous family. Welcome back to True Talk. And when you really think about Christianity and this nation that we live, they say this nation is a Christian nation. And they're right. When they was slaughtering the Native Americans, those men considered themselves Christians. The KKK was a Christian organization. Yes, the KKK was a Christian organization. They considered themselves Christians. The racist white people that hung our ancestors considered themselves Christians. The slave owners considered themselves Christians. So when they say we are a Christian nation, or when white people claim to be Christians, as the dude CK did, you gotta understand that they faith in God do not negate them for being racist and hating you. Matter of fact, the Christianity and the white Jesus they believe in, they got every reason to hate you because they think you are a beast. They don't even see you as animals. Remember slavery? They said we were sub animals, but they really think that the Most High gave them uh, every right to hate us, to mistreat us. The Mormons believe that we was cursed with dark skin. They got all type of doctrines when you look at it. When you go to these Christian foundations, that they what they call the church father, who they like to puff up, you know, as if they somebody. When you look at the doctrines of these Christians and what these people believe and taught, they say they believe that Cain, that black people we are the descendants of Cain. That when God put the mark on Cain, that mark was black skin. Other doctrines they got was the Ham theory that when Ham's son Canaan was cursed, they say Ham was cursed, and they say black people came from Ham. So uh, when Moses says, you will be the servants of your brothers, they said black people are Ham, and uh, we are cursed with black skin, and we are cursed to be their servants. So modern day Christian, modern day Christianity that America has pushed across this world is based in white supremacists. So here we is have this supposed to be, I guess, a pastor calling black people evil and our culture evil and saying that our ways are beast like. Now I'm gonna break this down, but listen to him on your own.
Let's say that somebody was coming into our church and they're black, and would they be eligible for membership in our church? Yes, of course they would. They'd be eligible for membership in our church. But would they be permitted to participate in, embody, and practice what I would call black culture generally in our church? The answer is absolutely not. Why? Because the characteristics that mark black culture as a generalization, in the same way Paul's talking about Cretans on Crete, they are evil, murderous, violent, bestial people. They steal, they kill, they are sinful to the core. They have besetting sins that are like father immorality. They molest children at a high rate. Any criminal statistic that you could look at, almost pretty much without exception, they excel at them. Black culture.
And it's even interesting. I mentioned it before, but like the black guy on TikTok, he was saying, he's like, y'all crazy. Like, you talking about this person like it's mental health. He said, that ain't mental health. That's a demon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of people are seeing that. Like, this
Absolutely.
behavior is to walk up to a white girl
either, but yeah,
and to cut her
because
throat
she's white.
because she's white and be like, yeah, we got that
Yeah,
white girl.
we got that white girl. When you think about it, you look at that culture and you say, what are the besetting sins and characteristics of it? And then you say, could church membership embodying that culture? No, they have to self-consciously repudiate that culture.
I'm sorry about it skipping and messing up, but hopefully y'all heard it clear enough. I'm just gonna rewind it, and we just gonna have a conversation.
Let's say that somebody was coming into our church and they're black, and would they be eligible for membership in our church? Yes, of course they would. They'd be eligible for membership in our church. But would they be permitted to participate in, embody, and practice what I would call black culture generally?
Okay, let's stop right there. He said, would they be able to participate in what he considered black culture in general? Notice he said what he considered. And this is why we can't let nobody tell our story. These are the same people that said the Indians were savages, but they was the one eating people and murdering whole families. This the same picture they painted about Africa, that they was unintelligent and savages. But these people was the one living in cage, living in caves and wasn't taking baths. And it was the African that came and taught them science and how to bathe. This is why you can't let nobody, especially somebody of another race, tell your story. But let's continue. Just had to say that.
In our church? The answer is absolutely not. Why? Because the things, the characteristics that mark black culture as a generalization, in the same way Paul's talking about Cretans on Crete, they are evil, murderous, violent, bestial people.
So he said the things that mark black culture, and he named things that every race experience. Every race experience killing, murder. Every race lie. But why did he say that was our culture? As if black people invented lying and stealing and raping and colonizing and all that. So you see the hypocrite and the lie. See, it says Satan was the most subtle of all the beasts. That when he lie, he talking his language. These people will sit there and lie to you with a straight face. He named all the bad things that goes on in the world and said that's black culture. Now, would it be fair if I say young white boys shooting up schools or white culture? Would it be fair if I say, I don't know, colonizing is white culture? Would it be fair if I say suicide was part of their culture? If I just pick out the worst things that so called happen in the white community and say that was their culture. No, this is not our culture. Murdering, killing, and all that is not our culture. Does violent play in the black community? Yes. And we can get into the reason why that, but this is not the video. If we're going to talk about something, let's talk about the root cause. How it got that way in the first place. I find it funny that all over the world, that specifically black America, have this stigma on them as being gangsters and thugs and all this. Out of all the black people in the world, it's just black America. But what did Black America go through? What was the design? What was the setup? No, let's talk about this. Let's hold up the mirror and let's really talk about this. Since you talk about this is my culture, as black people, this is our culture, that we evil and thieves and all these things. Last time I checked, there wasn't a Negro on this planet that stole a whole continent or island. Still to this day, France and other European countries is in Africa robbing them blind. Is it fair for me to say that's their culture? That they're just thieves and murderers and killers? The war that's going on between Israel and Gaza, in Ukraine and Russia. Is it fair for me to say that's their culture? Just take the worst out of what's happening in the world, or the worst that's going on in their culture, or in their group, and say that's their culture? Nah, that's not our culture. Our culture is seasoned food. Our culture is good music. Our culture is rhythm. Our culture is fashion, style, swag. But let's continue.
They steal, they kill, they are sinful to the core. They have besetting sins that are like father immorality. They molest children at a high rate.
Stop right there. Now, amongst all the lies he telling, this, the obvious lies he telling, this is one of the obvious that you can just fact check. Who leads in rape? White man. Who leads in pedophile? White men. So if it's safe for me to say that rape and being pedophiles are their culture, that if they come to any black church or any church of mine, that the white man have to leave his culture behind, his culture of rape and uh, uh, murder and shooting up schools and being a pedophile. Let's fact that because he's talking, but we can actually fact check. Let's do a little fact check right quick. Just a little short one. So this is a little quick Google check. What percent of white men leave in sexual crime? And you see, it says 93% sexual abuse offense are males. 59.5 are white males, which is the highest they lead. And that was just a quick Google search about sexual abuse. But if you look up it, they lead in rape and pedophile and so much more. So I say that's their culture. And he said that sexual more, something else he said about that. So you telling me there's no gay white people? You know, when I see the gay parade, matter of fact, in Israel, they got the biggest gay parade. I think one of the second largest gay parade. Matter of fact, on the continent of Africa, you know that big continent full of melanated black people, they are hard on gays and not letting people to be gay. To the fact, America is penalizing a lot of African countries, talking about gay rights and want Africans to adopt gay rights and allow for people, which Africa don't go around killing gay people. They just don't allow for people to be openly gay and promote it like America do. But it's so-called America pushing the world to accept gayness. It's so-called America, or the so-called white man that started the gay parade. So what are we talking about here? Not to mention porn started by a so-called Caucasian white man, a Jewish man at that. So so let's get it straight when you talk. Oh, these people they got sins of sexual mores and fornication and the father's household. How did the household get fathered? If the America got the largest prison system in the world, and the majority of the men's that's locked up are black men's, I think they got something to do with father's household, especially when a lot of these crimes are, uh, or should I say, a lot of these black men are going up a racist and crooked system that's designed to lock black men up. Well, the facts are the facts. A Caucasian commit a crime and get less time than what a so-called black man that on his first offense will get more crime and get put on paper and penalized. And you know that's a whole nother evil of these people, or how they discriminate and mistreat the true Yasharel, the true people of the Most High. But let's listen to him talk more about how evil and bad black people are, and how evil and bad our culture are. So we gotta denounce our culture if we want to be a part of his righteous church.
Any criminal statistic that you could look at, almost pretty much without exception, they excel at them. Black
Well,
culture.
and it's
Once again, is a lie.
interesting. I mentioned it before, but like the black guy on TikTok, he was saying, he's like, y'all crazy. Like, you talking about this person like it's mental health. He said that ain't mental health. That's a demon.
Yeah.
So I mean, a lot of people are seeing that. Like this
Absolutely.
behavior is to walk up to a white girl.
So once again, the hypocritical. So some coon raccoon, So he mentioned a black dude. So we got the black validation, and of course he mentioned about the black dude that stabbed a white Ukrainian. I thought a lot of white Americans don't want immigrants in America. So what if they're white is good, but in the other color is not? So wouldn't he be doing y'all a favor if he get rid of the immigrants that y'all don't like? Because this white lady is from Ukraine. She's an immigrant, but she's white, so I guess okay. So they talking about that. Not to mention a couple of years ago, there was a white man that stabbed two black sisters on the train, and one the black woman died. You don't see black people running around saying, "Oh, oh." But nevertheless, he said, "Oh," he said, "Y'all talk about mental health because it was known fact that the dude had mental health. He was crazy. He was quite crazy. Hear voices and all." They said, "This is demons." So what do we call the young white boys that don't hear voices, that go and shoot up the schools, and the first thing they say is mental health? Do y'all spin the block and say, "That's not mental health, that's demons"? So this one man act count for all the black races because somebody said, "Oh, this black man got a demon in him." You're saying, "Oh, black culture is demon." You know what I'm saying? Like, so basically, trying to say black people of the black culture are full of demons because of this crazy nutcase that stabbed this white woman, and it wasn't because she was white. It was he's just crazy. But if you look up the crimes that the racial crime that's committed against black people in America, it's white people committing crimes against black people racially outnumber everybody. I don't know how to put it, how the statistics though. Uh, I don't know how to word it. Let me see if I can find the words. When it comes to violent crimes committed against another group, black people are the highest victim against white people of having crimes committed against them because of their race. But let's continue.
Either, but yeah,
And to cut her
because
throat
she's white.
because she wanted to be like, yeah, we got that
Yeah,
white girl.
we got that white girl. And when you think about it, you look at that culture and you say, what are the besetting sins and characteristics of it? And then you say, could church membership embodying that culture? No, they have to self-consciously repudiate that culture.
So once again, he don't know nothing about the black culture. Uh, he's one of those people that be looking at TV that seen a couple of gangster movies and think that's how all black people are. Like these people, like what can we say, man? We've been over here for more than 400 years, and we know their behavior by now. We know how they deflect. We know how they lie. We know how they don't be honest with themselves about anything. It's really sad. It's really sad that we got to share a planet with people like this, and they got the nerve to try to police somebody and tell somebody else what their culture is. I wonder is this our culture? Since he want to pull some of the bad things that happen in our community and say that's our culture, why don't he pull the good things out and say that's our culture? Shout out to all my beautiful melanated woolly hair, puffy lips, wide nose, uh, just beautiful magic of for, for all my beautiful women, my beautiful Hebrew Israelite black so-called black women out there. My beautiful, intelligent Hebrew black women. I can't give y'all enough credit. Let's read this. It says, and this is what I'm reading for right here. Uh, it says the most successful demographic of black women in America is not only recognized for their educational achievement, but also for their uh, entrepreneur success. Black women are the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs in the USA, with significant numbers of black owned businesses. So, the demographic, the most successful demographic of women in America is just you guess it, the black woman. The black woman is the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs in the US. Hold up, let me see if I can find it. One.com. And this was done in May 2005. So this year on May the 25th, I mean on May the 23rd, it says black women has long been celebrated for their educational achievement, but does that narrative still stand and hold truth that they are the most educated in 2025? And the answer is yes. Black women are the most educated and most successful demographic demographic of women in the United States. Basically, black women are the few to this country, keep this country running. They keep these old white rich man which is usually a black lady behind it, keeping his company afloat. So recent data suggests that black women are still making significant strides in higher education. So not only do they lead, but they're making strides. Let's jump down here. According to 2024 data from P. Paul Research, black women continue to lead academically at college and university across the United States. Look, 38% of young black women have earned a college degree compared to just 26 of black men. So let me get this straight. Out of all the, so we make up 14%. So out of, we not talking about, so out of that 14%, we gotta take away children, we gotta take away elders, we gotta take away the man. Now we just talk about the women. What, that's like 7, 8%? Nah, probably like 6. Don't say 6%. 38% out of those 6% of black women graduate from college, got a college degree. Let's dare say that's our culture. Hmm. Not to mention over 100 something inventions that black America alone made while in this country. But we can't say that's our culture. And riddle me this. How is the so-called black woman the face of welfare? And they make like every black woman is fat, ghetto, lazy, with 5 different baby daddies and 7 kids that's living in the project they don't want to work. How is that's the so-called black woman in America when we just read and data shows improve? If you just go out in everyday life, it shows improve that black women are the most successful group of women in America. So how they both the most laziness on welfare and also the most successful hard-working women? Because what this pastor won't tell you, most of the people that are getting government assistance are white women. Should we dare say that's their culture? So once again, family, this is the world we live in. The Holy Scripture says Satan is the accuser of the brothers. Now I'm not calling this man Satan. I'm just making an observation and doing a comparison. Never let somebody that's not a part of your culture, that knows nothing about your culture, try to tell you about your people and your culture, especially when they doing it in a negative way. Because at the end of the day, our culture is Torah. Our culture is truth. Our culture is the word of the Most High. And many of our soldiers are returning back to that culture because we've been destroyed in America, dumbed down in this system of Babylon. But the Most High is waking his people up. And you know what? People can say and feel however they want. A lot of times you're not going to change people's mind. Even with facts and truth, you're not going to change their mind. You won't believe how many people say they believe the Bible, but they believe a lie about the Most High or the Bible. And you show them with the Bible, and they still won't believe. So, to let you know that a lot of people, they got their mind made up. What they feel about you, feel about me, feel about us. It ain't our job to change their mind. It's only our job to obey the Most High and please Him. And everything else gonna fall in order. So as always, let Yah be true and every man a lie. Till next time, Shalom.